Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Emory and Henry Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Joe Matthews, and I'm the Director of Athletic Communications here at the university. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our food service provider, Sodexo, for providing our continental breakfast. We've got plenty of water and juice and mini donuts and muffins and stuff, so if you didn't get a chance to get a quick breakfast before we began, please take advantage of that on your way out. Emory and Henry is a special place that changes lives. Whether that is a student, faculty or staff member, a family member of a student, or a member of the greater community. It is an honor to be associated with Southwest Virginia's older institution of higher education, and today we have the further honor of inducting a new class into our Sports Hall of Fame. Before we begin, I would like to give a brief history of the Sports Hall of Fame. Established in 1971, the Emory and Henry Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the former student athletes, coaches, administrators, and contributors who have brought recognition, honor, and distinction to Emory and Henry athletics. The first class in 1972 consisted of 40 members. Now, with more than 275 members inducted over the course of the last 54 years, Emory and Henry has recognized the likes of revolutionary basketball players such as Glenn Roberts, Eric Scott, Sally Sprinkle Bentley, and Kelly Smith Housewright. Groundbreaking football players in Bobby Miller, Scrapper Brody, Sonny Wade, and Thomas Nelson. Track and field standout Keith Arrington. Tennis champion Gina Miano, baseball pitcher Monty Weaver, softball center fielder Mandy Smith Miller, legendary coaches in Lou Wacker, Bob Johnson, Eleanor Hutton, and Joy Scruggs, and dedicated staff members like A.L. Mitchell, Dave and Ann Thomas, Charles Foster, and Dana Boyd, just to name a few. Today, our list grows by 3. Today, we induct former head softball coach Tommy Forster, former football running back and return specialist Caleb Jennings, and former head football coach Kurt Newsom. Our first inductee is Tommy Forster. Tommy Forster, a member of the college's class of 2004, coached the Emory and Henry softball team for 9 years, winning a record 217 games and leading the team to 3 NCAA Division III tournaments. Tommy took over the team in the fall of 2013 that hadn't had a winning season in 7 years. In his first season in 2014, the Wasps showed an 11-game improvement for their first of 7 20-win seasons under his leadership. The next year, the team finished 3rd in the ODAC tournament, increasing their win total to 26 for the then 3rd most wins in program history. In 2017, the Wasps set the program record for wins in a season at 35 and were 1 victory short of the ODAC championship. For their efforts, Emory and Henry made just their 2nd trip to the NCAA tournament in program history and the first since 2003. The Wasps advanced to the ODAC championship game again in 2018 with another 30-win season, but fell short of the league title in the NCAA playoffs. Emory Henry returned to the national stage in 2019 after finishing 2nd in the regular season standings. That performance earned the team an invitation to the elite NFCA Leadoff Classic in 2020, which was held in Tucson, Arizona. During that shortened season, the Wasps played just 17 games, but 6 of them were against nationally ranked opponents. The 2021 season was a banner year for Tommy and Emory and Henry. The team finished with a program record .763 winning percentage and a 29-9 record. The Wasps were ranked in the NFCA top 25 for much of the season, including 2 weeks at number 9. After another 2nd-place finish in the ODAC to eventual national champion Virginia Wesleyan, the Wasps made their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in the span of 4 full seasons. The team went 3-2 in the Seguin Regional in Texas, finishing 2nd to the eventual national runner-up, Texas Lutheran, and in effect were tied for 9th in the tournament. Tommy's student athletes excelled both on the field and in the classroom. including a first-team All-American, 30 All-ODAC players, 10 All-ODAC tournament selections, 7 All-Region players, and countless academic honors. Following the 2022 season, Tommy transitioned from softball coach to administrator, taking on the role of director of club sports for 2 years. As an undergraduate, he was a 4-year letter winner in the infield for the Wasp baseball team and was named the team MVP his senior year. It is with great pride that we induct Tommy Forrester into the Emory and Henry Sports Hall of Fame. Tommy is not able to be with us today due to his health. He and his family have asked his longtime assistant coach, Janae Morrissey, Emory and Henry class of 2014, to accept this honor and speak on his behalf.
So I was trying not to cry, but this is a very emotional day for a lot of us. So if I do, which I'm starting already, just bear with me. First, I want to congratulate all the other inductees, Caleb, Coach Newsom. This is one of the highest honors, I think, especially as a student athlete or a coach, that you can get at Emory and Henry. So it's just, what an incredible honor. I want to thank the athletic department. I want to thank the Alumni Association. I want to thank the college just for this opportunity. And like I said, if I do start crying or I veer off, please bear with me. I also am I don't get to read off of a paper. I'm more of a bullet point person, so just bear with me, okay? There's just so much, like 5 minutes to be able to talk about Tommy and what he's done for this program, for this college, for all of us student athletes. It's just never enough time. I could write a whole book about who Tommy is, what he's done. But early on into the program, Tommy and I decided that we wanted to try to come up with a slogan for our program, something that the girls could be able to, looking back on their time at Emory or even in the program, the softball program, say, what do we stand for? What do we want to be known for, right? That's different than any other softball team in the conference or even some of the other programs here at Emory. And so every year we had like a different slogan, but over the course of probably over the course of some time, we decided that there were 3 main slogans that we wanted our girls to really buy into, okay? And the first one was brick by brick. So I'm not sure, I haven't been at it's been a couple of years since I've been here. I'm not sure if it's still in the locker room, Coach Delp, but we decided that brick by brick was going to be one of the slogans that we had, which meant that every single piece, every person that wasn't just a softball player or a coach, it was Wayne the bus driver and his wife Retta, it was Joel and all the grounds crew, it was Dana Boyd, it was the athletic director, it was Joe. This entire program was based off of all of us coming together and understanding that if we wanted to be successful, that this is what we stand for. Every brick holds its place, right? So every player and then every new player that would come in, we would give them a brick. They would put their name on the brick, and then Coach Delp, which is the best, he would have a big bucket with mortar. We'd mix the mortar, and the mortar stood for love. The love and the bond that we had with one another that was going to kind of just represent how strong of a bond we all had, right? So as, we started out with one season, and then it kept growing and kept growing, and it was like, and that it was a wall, and that wall was not moving. Like, I'm not sure if they moved it or not, but I don't know how they did because it was strong. And that is exactly how our program was run. That's how the relationships were in our program. The stats, like, I'm sure if Tommy was here and he heard all of those stats, he'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool, but it didn't matter to him. None of that stuff mattered to him. The relationships are what mattered. That bond, that mortar is what mattered to him. And that's why this award is so special, because no one is more deserving. No one is more deserving. No one held up that brick-to-brick slogan or campaign like Coach Forrester did. The other slogan that we had, which was painted on the wall in the locker room, it was a Bible verse. It was Galatians 6:9. And it stated, actually I could tell you what it stated. Hold on, I don't want to screw this up. Galatians 6:9, do not grow weary of doing good, for in the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. As a coach, and I know because him and I would spend in our office, our desks were, it wasn't the biggest office, so our desks were on each side of the wall, and we'd turn around in our chairs and just look at each other. We would talk about how difficult, as the generations, more time went on, how difficult it was to coach. And what we really wanted to do was to change lives. We knew that we would, if we were good, we were good, if the record showed. But what we really, really wanted to do more than anything was to change lives, to make a difference into our players' lives. And there were times where, we'd have great relationships with some of the players, and we're in mid-season, and they're upset and they want to quit. And, their stats aren't as good, or they're not getting the playing time. And I kept telling Coach Forrester, I'm like, I don't know, this is tough. Like, coaching is tough. Coaching, like, you deal with some of the parents, and it's just a lot. And he always told me, Janae, he goes, what does the Bible verse in our locker room say? We will grow, just do not get tired. The harvest will come. The harvest to us wasn't making it to the NCAA tournament. It wasn't getting this award. The harvest was, we want those girls to be the best versions of themselves, to go out into the world and change the world. And to have the relationships that we have with them, that they have with their students that they teach, with their clients, or whatever the case is. That was the harvest, right? The harvest was getting a wedding invitation from a girl that graduated, 5 years ago, that still remembered us and cared enough to invite us on the list, right? It was when a player's mother died that we were the first person that she called, right? So that was the harvest to us. It's not the accolades, it wasn't the stats. The harvest was the relationships and the impact that we made on the world. And when we had the girls for 4 years, or if they transferred for 2 years and went out somewhere else, that impact that they learned in this program, that they went out into the world and shared it with other people. And that was the harvest. The last slogan that really stuck with us was Mudita, right? And Mudita, the meaning behind that is that you celebrate others' success as it was your own, right? So that carried us to really a winning record, because we got the girls to buy in. They bought into the program. So if there was a girl that was, she had started and we pulled her out, to give another player a shot, and that other player hit a home run, or if it was a sacrifice bunt, the girl that we took out, she was ecstatic for that other player. She didn't even care that she got pulled out. Her parents might have cared, but she didn't, because she bought in. And she knew, right? And so this is what this award is. And I couldn't, you celebrate the success as if it was your own. This is Tommy's award, right? However, I promise you that if Tommy was here with us today, he would tell you that this award goes to every single coach. Coach Delp, Coach Taylor, Coach Poor, all the other coaches that have come in, all of the players, right? This is our award that we earned, right? We did this, we committed this, we started this program and we did this. So this is our award. And I promise you that Tommy would say the exact same thing, okay? The last thing that I'm going to say, and I mean, like I said, I could write a whole book about this guy and what he means to this college and me and the program and former players, but the last thing I want to read is a post that one of the former players wrote this morning, actually. And there's there's hundreds of these type of posts, okay? And this one, it just caught my eye, and I just want to read it, and one of the former players and what she said. She said, "Coach is one of the greatest men I know. He took a group of girls who had been broken down by a prior head coach and maybe some other coaches or teachers in the past, or even parents, and had restored the program. But more than that, he helped to restore us as people. He didn't just make us better softball players, but he made us better women. I look forward to the 19th of every month. That was my former college number, aka Katie Day. When I know that I'll get a text and some encouragement from Coach Forrester. It has been almost 10 years since I wore an Emory and Henry jersey, and he is still coaching me. He has been fighting his cancer for about 2 years now. I know he has been fighting with the blue-collar, gold standard Emory and Henry coach instilled in us. I love my school, my team, my coach. We're Emory born and Emory bred." And one of the things that Tommy does, and I'm not sure if he still has done this, but one of the things that he has done for quite a while is that every girl that has been on the team, and it doesn't matter how long they've been there, if they finished their full 4 years at Emory, or if they were there for a year and quit, or if they transferred, every single girl on their jersey number of the date of the calendar, he sends every single girl, he calls it their day. So if Katie wore number 14, on the 14th of every single month, Coach Forrester would send Katie a message. Happy Katie Day, right? I love you, I'm praying for you. How's everything going? This has gone on for every single girl that has gone through our program. Every single girl. On every jersey day that they have. And that is the type of guy that Tommy is. So when you're listening and you hear all of the accolades, like, man, we did that. That was awesome. But the other stuff is the fact that, like, he changed lives. He still continues to every single day. And all you have to do is look up Coach Tommy Forrester on Facebook, and you'll see every single player, parents, friends, prior players that he played with at Emory, coaches. You can just see what kind of guy he is. So thank you guys, thank you Emory, and no one in the world deserves this award more than Tommy does.
Thank you, Janae. Our next inductee is Caleb Jennings. Caleb Jennings, a member of the Emory and Henry class of 2011, was a 4-year letter winner as a running back and return specialist for the Wasp football team. Caleb was a standout player, writing his name all over the record books and establishing himself as one of the best rushers and returners in Emory and Henry and ODAC history. Caleb stands third all-time with 3,705 career rushing yards and is also third in career rushing attempts, fifth in attempts in a season, fourth in attempts in a game, and fourth in rushing yards in a season. He's also fourth in career rushing touchdowns with 33 and third in rushing touchdowns in a season, scoring 14 times in 2009. Caleb also shown in the return game as he's second in career kickoff return average, second in career punt returns, second in punt returns in a season, and holds the school record with 1,111 career punt return yards and 498 punt return yards in a season. His outstanding performances on the field and accumulation of yards led him to being the all-time leader in all-purpose yards in a game, a season, and the career all-purpose yard record of 6,142. Caleb was named a first-team All-American at running back as a junior in 2009, as well as being selected as an honorable mention All-America as a return specialist for the 2008 season. He was named to the All-ODAC first team as a running back in 2008, 2009, and 2010, being selected as ODAC Offensive Player of year for his efforts in 2009. Caleb's outstanding play that season resulted in him winning the Lanier Award, which is awarded to the top football player at the Division II, Division III, or NAIA level in the Commonwealth of Virginia. His extraordinary 45-yard touchdown run against Methodist during 2010 was nationally recognized as the number 3 play of the week on ESPN Sports Nation and was also selected as the Division III play of the week by D3Football.com. For his accomplishments, we are proud to induct Caleb Jennings into the Emory and Henry Sports Hall of Fame.
I cannot go off script, so I got to stick with mine. Thank you, guys. I'm going to try to get through this. This is going to be tough, so bear with me. In football, we have a game plan. Okay. In football, we have a game plan. We call plays and expect them to be executed just as intended. Well, as we all know, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And the same goes in life. Albert Einstein once said, "Life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving forward." Exactly 6 months ago today, May 9th, I lost my biggest fan, my dad. I wish he was here to see this. As I reflect on my football career, and I'm honored here today for my contributions to the sport, this team, and this school, what I think about most is actually what football gave to me. It is not an overstatement that this sport changed my life. When interviewing for my master's in physician assistant studies, I got asked about my research in concussions and the long-term effects. The program director asked me if I would let my son play with my knowledge of knowing what goes on. I simply smiled and said without question. I said, there's not one game on this planet that you can learn life lessons in one play. Discipline, commitment, communication, accountability, teamwork, leadership. The list goes on and on. It is endless. My upbringing from my family, my coaches, this school, this team, and this game has given me a work ethic that I am forever grateful for. I am successful in life because of the influential people in my life. My family, making sure that I never missed a practice, buying me athletic gear that they couldn't afford, attempting to keep me humble. My family is my rock. My coaches, Greg Mantz, who's here today, drove 8 hours, wherever you are. You, sir, you do not even belong to be in the coach's category because you're like a father. Coach Tarter, Coach Strong, all of you guys, thank you. Coach Montgomery, Tom Manning, Joel Gordon, Rob Grandy, thank you for believing in me. Thank you to everyone. Every single coach has made an impact. My teammates, the bonds that we had, this is a team game, and not one individual can be successful without the ones around them. This is an award for all of us. I want to finish today with a brief reflection on time. I learned a tough lesson. I learned a tough lesson 6 months ago. I had plans to go visit my father, and he unfortunately passed away 2 weeks prior. What I've learned from this, we have no guaranteed time. It is important to reflect on our past, learn from our past, and even sometimes like this, revel in the memories and the successes of our past. There is also a benefit to planning and hoping for our futures. But to me, the most important is now. To be fully present in the time we have. And as Albert Einstein would say, don't stop pedaling. With that said, I'm so incredibly honored to be here today and so thankful for the friends and family that I have that have been there to support me along the way and those that are here to celebrate with me today. Thank you, guys.
Our final inductee this year is Kurt Newsom. Kurt Newsom, Emory and Henry class of 1982, achieved success at every stop in his 42-year coaching career across the high school and college game. After spending 32 years away from Emory, he returned in January of 2014 and served as the Wasps head coach for 10 seasons. Kurt got his first job at Irvington High School. In 1983, just his second year coaching, he was promoted to head coach. He returned to his native Tidewater in 1987 and spent the next 11 years at Kecoughtan High School before one season at Heritage High School. During his 16 years as a high school head coach, Kurt compiled a 105-45 record, earned 5 district and 3 region Coach of the Year awards, and in 1998, he was also named the Virginia State Coach of the Year. Kurt joined the college ranks in 1999 when he was hired at James Madison University. The Dukes immediately saw success, claiming the Atlantic 10 Conference titles in 1999 and 2004, as well as the 2004 NCAA Division I FCS National Championship. He was promoted to Associate Head Coach in 2003, a position he held for 3 years, and would return to Harrisonburg under the same title for the 2013 season. In 2006, Kurt joined the staff at Virginia Tech, coaching the offensive line. In his 7 years in Blacksburg, the Hokies won 3 Atlantic Coast Conference championships and went to a bowl game each season, including a marquee win in the 2009 Orange Bowl. In his 10 seasons at Emory and Henry, Kurt guided the Wasps to a 53-42 record with 5 winning seasons. He was named ODAC Coach of the Year in his first season as the team finished in a 4-way tie for first at 8-2. Kurt also led the Wasps to the 2020 ODAC Championship game in the COVID spring and coached Devontae Jordan to the Lanier Award for his record-breaking performance in 2021. Additionally, under his guidance, Emory and Henry transitioned into NCAA Division II in the South Atlantic Conference. During his time at Emory and Henry, Kurt coached 76 All-ODAC and 18 All-SAC performers, 46 All-State and 12 All-Region players. He also had players named Second-Team All-America and an Academic All-American in addition to his Lanier Award winner. As an undergraduate, Kurt was a 4-year starter at defensive tackle and a 2-time All-ODAC selection. He was also a standout pitcher on the baseball diamond, where he was a 3-year letter winner and finished with a 3.31 ERA in 1978. In commemoration of an extraordinary career, we are honored to induct Kurt Newsom into the Emory and Henry Sports Hall of Fame.
Appreciate it. I've got a little sheet of paper here. First of all, I'd like to thank Doug Mitchell for nominating me. That means a lot to me, Sleepy. I appreciate it. Then I had several people write letters of recommendation to help me get to this point. Coach Billy Height, Coach Larry Bales, Coach Frank Beamer, and Rick Hughes. I would like to say something about Coach Height initially. Coach Height coached at Virginia Tech for 33 years. I got a little sick a few months back, and for 7 months of my therapy or treatments, he has texted me every day of his life, of my life, and that means so much to me. And Coach Bales, I appreciate you. We know that Kurt is not going in as a player. I promise you I'm not going in as a player. I'm going in as a coach because one time playing out on the field out there, I came to the sideline. Coach Bales says, "Newsom, you're not making any plays. What is going on out there?" I said, "Coach, they are triple teaming me. You wouldn't believe it. They got 3 guys coming to block me." He got on the headset to the guy in the box. He said, "Would you tell their coaches they're wasting at least 2 men on Kurt?" So I promise you that's not why I'm here. That is not why I'm here. I'm here because of a bunch of good coaches I coach with and a bunch of good players. I'd be remiss. The first person I've got to thank is the best football wife God ever made, bar none. Melinda is, where are you? Right there. And she's been through all of it, all the ups and downs. She's raised 2 children. When I was at Virginia Tech, until a Thursday night, I wouldn't see Elizabeth awake. But probably, Elizabeth, I probably didn't want to see you awake, the way you behaved back then. So I didn't mind working those hours. I've got a great supporting cast that's been so good to me through the years, and I'm gonna have to use my glasses. My journey is a little different. I graduated from here. See, Emory's different. Emory's different. It's not about the administration. It's not about the professors. It's about the people. I mean, you're changed when you come to Emory because of the people that go to Emory and Henry College. Jeff Leach, my roommate, he needs to be in this Hall of Fame. He's the last 2-way player at Emory and Henry College. He needs to be here. And that would be well deserved. He helped me get through college. Tony Hart, Melinda had 1 more year of school, and I had graduated midterm. Well, you heard 78 in baseball, and you hear 82 graduate. I like the place. I stayed a little extra. So, he was married to Gracie. I moved in their house. I didn't have a job. Midterm, so I'm living in Dickinson County. I'm from the Tidewater. That's a long way from Dickinson County, I promise you. So I'm living there. Probably you only had room for a couch to put me on, and I appreciated that couch, I promise you. But it's people like that have changed my life forever. And you are very, very important to me. My journey, as I said, I started off coaching at Irvington High School, the smallest school in the state of Virginia. We had 7 through 12, and we probably had 200 and some people in the school, 7 through 12. And won 7 games. They gave me a diamond ring. I should have got out of coaching right then. Because a few years later in Blacksburg, it got winning 7 got 4 of us fired, so we didn't get diamond rings. But I leave Irvington, and I go back to the Tidewater where I'm from, and we go to a state championship in the highest level in the state of Virginia. Go to JMU, won a national championship. Go to Virginia Tech, went to 3 Orange Bowls. That means we won the league. A Sugar Bowl, 2 Peach Bowls, a Russell Athletic. And I'm not telling you that to do this. I'm telling you that that happened because the people here, the people that are sitting here that helped me get through here. If I wouldn't have come to Emory, I wouldn't have made it. I needed 12 to 1 professor to student ratio. I needed to grow up. That's what Kurt needed. That's why this place is so special to me. And now, the old adage in football is faith, family, and football. Well, the faith, Steve Wright's here, Buddy Pierce is here, Craig Barber's here. The faith for us, Steve Wright became just the football FCA guy. And he's a great, great person. So what we did, I'm sure I'll get in trouble for this. We had study hall for every freshman the whole time I was here. So they didn't like study hall. And I'm sure they still don't like study hall. So I would give them one night off if the freshmen would go to the FCA meeting. So they wouldn't have to go to study hall. So we loaded the room up. They were going to miss that. And we felt like if they were freshmen, if they started off with FCA, it would continue the whole time they're there. The first Sunday we were there, it was a tradition that we went to Highlands Fellowship Church. So if they didn't have a church here, they could go to one. So that was the faith part. The family part, my family, my two brothers are here, Brian and Vaughn, have supported me throughout. My son, little Kurt, is here. He's not little Kurt. And then Elizabeth, my birthday girl, that's going to have a baby in January, we hope. And if not, you've been eating too much. So I hope that's what it is. So, coaches I've coached with, Josh Wellenhofer is as good a person as I've ever been around. Herky Billings, a great, great family friend, the offensive coordinator at JMU, drove from Delaware to come here today. Now that just says what kind of friend he is. So, that's kind of my journey. And the football piece, I told some people the last time I was at the blue and gold thing. I recruited Tyrod Taylor. He's a good player. He's playing for the Giants 2 years ago. He's with the Jets now. I'm pulling for Aaron Rodgers to twist his ankle a little bit. Okay, I like Tyrod more than I like Aaron. But anyway, Tyrod, on Thanksgiving Day, the Giants play the Cowboys 2 years ago. He texted me and my wife, and he says, "You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful for you and your family and what you've done for me." Those are the kind of things that you get in this business for. I don't miss all of the parts of coaching. I forgot one person, and he's probably the most important. My wife just reminded me. We're not on script here. We just talk, okay? My grandson, Wyatt Newsom, is really the reason I'm standing here today, because I want him to enjoy this, because he's been a special person in my life, and I want to keep watching him play. So I did get that. Okay, I'm back on whatever. Okay, but it's the love that the players give you and that you give them, because when you get to family, I mentioned my family. Well, the football team was my family. Every Thursday in football season at Virginia Tech and JMU, I coached the offensive line. My wife fed them spaghetti. All the offensive linemen, I forget how big they were. I'd been yelling at them all week, and they'd all be in the kitchen, and I'd go, "Golly, day, I didn't really mean that, what I said to you on the field." So it's a great run. I'm now working for the Colts, and so if they lose, please don't blame me. But I'm really enjoying it. I've really gotten into it the last couple of weeks, and that's something that keeps me involved in football. I just miss the relationships that we don't have anymore. I'd be remiss not to mention my mother, who came to every game and smiled every second of her life. Yes. She lost $500,000 in one scheme, a Ponzi scheme, all her money. And you know what? She said, "It's all right. It's okay. I'll be all right." Didn't bother her. Well, on the outside, she never showed that it bothered her. Every penny she had. And that's the kind of person she was. My father, on the other hand, was a little like me. So I've got a real angel over here, and I got the devil over here, and that's how I've lived. I've been on both sides of them. So, but this place changed me forever. You know, football, people think it's about X's and O's. If it was about X's and O's, those people teaching physics would be up here. You know, that's not what it's about. It's about relationships. You know, that's what it's about. You know, anybody can learn the X's and O's, but anybody can't get on a guy and then hug him the next second and tell him you love him. And this business has been really good to me. I've had a great life because of football and family and faith, and I appreciate this honor. I wish my mother was sitting here too, Caleb. I know, and my father. But I'm just glad my family's here. I appreciate everybody. Caleb Jennings, I never got to see you play, but I've heard all the stories, and great career you had. Tommy, and what he's done for Emory and Henry College is remarkable. And just enjoy the day watching Emory beat up on UVA Wise, and it'll be a great day. Have I forgotten anything else? Okay. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. I'm not real good with these things.
This concludes our induction ceremony. We look forward to seeing everyone at the football game at 1 o'clock. And like Coach Newsom said, we're going to give those guys from Clinch Valley what it is. So thanks everybody. Have a great day.